Take a listen.
And when we made the trade that we made, or are working to complete rather, with a certain player who used to be here with Drew, we were very cognizant of the fact that this is Drew Holiday's team. Zion is going to be part of learning how to win at a really high level. And at some point, if there's a time that the baton gets passed in terms of who's expected to carry us to win games, it will. That's not now. Look, this is not somebody who's supposed to be the savior of this franchise. That's not what this is.
Drew Holiday's team. So, Shannon, how much pressure do you think is on Zion given what Griff just said?
Immense pressure. And that's some bull jive, David Griffin. You took a shot at AD, though. I don't like it. Now, I had a lot of respect for you because you built something special in Cleveland, but I refuse to sit up at this table and let you take shots at AD. Now, with that being said, hold on. How Zion Williams says, let's dance, and then in the same breath says Rome wasn't built in a day. Oh, no, bro. I ain't gonna let you get off like that, Skip Bayless. You know how this works, Skip Bayless. If you're selected with the #1 overall draft pick, regardless of the sport, football, basketball, hockey, baseball, it does not matter. You are considered a franchise-altering player.
Agreed.
Magic Johnson was selected #1 overall with a team that had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who already had 5 MVPs. He was thought of as a franchise-altering player. That's with Kareem with 5 MVPs.
They had not been able to win with Kareem. Go ahead.
He still had 5. Now, which guy on that roster is Kareem? Or which guy that's on that roster or just got drafted to that roster will be Kareem? Exactly my point. No, I don't want you to talk just yet. He has the most pressure.
You're lucky I'm not talking.
Skip, he has the most pressure on him since LeBron James.
Okay.
Skip, you know how this works.
I do.
You don't get to say, well, oh, we're going to take it slow. It's not his team. The True Holiday. Stop it. There's not no True Holiday team. This is Zion Williamson's team.
Okay.
He's the #1 overall pick. He's thought of as Magic Johnson. He's thought of as LeBron James. You're not bringing him in there to be a role player. Oh, we're filling out this roster. No, he is the roster. You're putting pieces around him. You ain't putting no pieces around True Holiday. You're putting pieces around him. So I'm sorry, Skip. Griff, I can't let you get off like that, bro. Talk about don't put no pressure. He's a rookie. And what's your point? Ain't nobody thinking about that when they get him all that hype. They ain't talking about him like he was MJ in year 13 after he had won 6 finals and 5 MVPs. Nah, y'all gave him all this credit, all this hype beforehand. So guess what? He gonna bring it on to the NBA, and the pressure is immense. And he is expected to deliver New Orleans. You know.
Okay. I agree with every point you just made times 10. This is Magic pressure. This is LeBron pressure. This is Magic plus LeBron pressure. You can have all the pressure you want. This kid will handle it. He handled Duke pressure. It's pretty big pressure in college basketball.
No, he didn't. He ain't win no title.
Okay. Well,
he ain't win no title.
It wasn't his fault.
He ain't
didn't have the ball in his hand.
It was his fault.
Put the ball in the other guy's hand. The overrated guy.
Was he on the team?
Yeah. He was there.
Okay.
He didn't get to shoot it in the clutch time. Every time he did, it went in, but that's okay. So, remember, again, this is not New York. This is New Orleans. No offense to New Orleans, but it's the second smallest TV market. So it's not like he's going to New York to be the face of the New York franchise. Okay, so he'll be just fine in that regard. But the surprise to me, the disappointment to me last night was from David Griffin. Not only that quote of he's not the savior, because he's obviously going to be the savior.
Yeah.
You don't need to take pressure off him. You need to heap pressure on all of you to win now. I thought the strategy would be let's maximize our chance to win as quickly as we can, right?
Yeah.
At least to win soon. Maybe not now, but soon. And instead, David Griffin's strategy last night was let's win later. Let's build it slowly but surely. Let's take our time. And it seemed like Zion was told to say, well, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I didn't want to hear that from him either.
No, after he just said, let's dance.
Okay. That's true, because those don't go together.
No, they don't.
Let's dance. I'm good with that.
Okay, let's dance. Let's go.
Okay. Well, I wanted David Griffin to dance last night, and yet he got a whole lot of Twitter credit just before the draft started for making the trade of the night. He fleeced Atlanta. He traded the #4 overall pick that they obviously got from your Lakers for 3 other picks. And on just draft pick value, It was a steal, right? Just on pure pick value. But this is a little different game. It's not the NFL we're dealing with here. This is the NBA. One player can have a whole lot of more impact in this game than in your game.
You better believe it.
Unless it's maybe a quarterback, but you don't usually steal a quarterback like this. But here's the point. You have the number 4 overall pick, and you left it on the table. You left 2 players on the table, and again, Atlanta went right ahead, and they traded up for DeAndre Hunter. I'm not going to say I love him, but I really like him. He's got all-star potential at 6'8", 3-and-D. He is a hellacious defender. He was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and he took over that national championship game that you and I talked about the next day. He terrorized Jared Culver. He took him out of everything he did. It made me lose respect for Jared Culver. I'm not sure about him, as great a kid as he is. But this kid can 3-and-D because he's a 42% three-point shooter. Yeah. Did he not make clutch shots in that championship game?
They don't get closer to the biggest one he made.
So Atlanta ran to the podium to say, yes, we will do this trade. We'll give you these 3 picks because we want that young man.
Right.
So they got their man.
Right.
Well, are you sure he wouldn't fit in? Because he'd fit just fine in New Orleans.
Yes.
Would he become an instant starter for the Pelicans? Probably he would.
Right.
Would he be an all-star? I don't know. Maybe someday. Which brings me to my kid, Darius Garland. Vanderbilt University.
Nah.
The pro pipeline. Every time you turn around.
There ain't no pro pipeline.
Baseball draft, football draft. It's just Vandy. They're everywhere, right? J.J. Bleday was the 4th overall pick in the baseball draft.
Why y'all don't win any SEC titles then?
Well, I don't know.
You do know. You keep talking about pipeline.
No, I shouldn't say that. I'm going to jinx my team. We are in the College World Series right now. That's all I'll say.
No,
right
y'all
now,
go.
we are 2-0. We're 2-0. What do you mean we're gone?
Y'all need to be gone.
We're in the catbird seat. That's where we are. We are catbirds.
Y'all need to be gone.
And we have won this championship before, and we've come in second before, so we dominate the sport of baseball, but that's a whole other story. Back to Darius Garland. He's got some Kyrie in him, and I only got to see snippets of 5 games because he hurt his knee, and they weren't 5 quality opponents, so I can't defend him on that account. But I got to tell you, he is explosive, and he has got a 3-point stroke, and it is pure. It is Kyrie-esque at 6 feet 2 inches tall. He's a very special potential player, and they left him on the table for Cleveland to take.
Yeah.
And Cleveland already said, well, we got a kid who plays that way. And they said, no, we got to take him because he's really, he's just too good. Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure, New Orleans, that he wouldn't be better long-term than Jackson Hayes? I watched Jackson Hayes 4 or 5 times last year, and he did not catch my eye. I love his length. I love his height. He's 7 feet and like 7'3" long. I love his genetics because his mom was one of the greatest players in the history of Iowa basketball. She averaged 52 a game in high school, and she went to Drake and was Missouri Valley Player of the Year. And his father, Jonathan Hayes, you might remember, played your position for 12 years in the National Football League. He was a tight end, right?
Yeah.
For Chiefs and Steelers. And he is now the head coach of the new XFL team in St. Louis. So I love the genetics here. I love the combination. But Jackson Hayes averaged 10 points and 5 rebounds a game last year for Texas in his 1 year there. And they were a 500 team in the regular season. And they lost to Kansas in the first round of the Big 12 Conference Tournament, in which he scored 2 points in that game. Then he hurt his knee and missed the NIT, which they won without him. So we are really projecting here on potential.
Really?
We are really projecting because he'll block shots and then he'll drift and he'll disappear in games. 2 years ago, he was sitting on the bench for his high school team. He could not make the starting lineup just 2 years ago for Moeller High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Just 2 years ago. Okay, so are you sure about that? If he turns into what you think his genetics might tell you, his parentage might tell you he would become, you got me. But I'm not sure about that because I just told you about those 2 other kids. Yeah. If you're talking win now, you're talking this. Then they go Nikhil Alexander-Walker, and he's the cousin of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I love. And again, they're kind of the same type player, 6'5", 6'6", and yet he's more 2-guard. I watched Virginia Tech maybe twice this year, and he did not catch my eye. I'm not sure. He looks like he could be a backup maybe to Drew Holiday. You sure that you traded out of the 4 picks? So are you going to... Sometimes GMs say, boy, I got an embarrassment of riches here. Let's just kind of pull back on the gas here. Let's try to calm everybody down. Let's take it easy. Let's go slow but sure so we don't overdo it next year.
David Griffin knows
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about these other picks. It only matters about one.
Okay.
The one he picked number one
Okay.
overall.
Well, it matters to me at 4. I mean, I don't know.
But I know.
Okay.
But here's the thing why there's pressure, Skip. The guy goes by one name.
Yeah.
When they give you one name, you're special.
Okay,
Ronaldo.
they don't give it to you, but it just happens. I know.
Thank you.
I got it.
Ronaldo.
I got it.
Messi. LeBron.
Yeah.
Mike. Magic. Zion.
Yeah.
Pressure, and can he handle it? Because my guy been handling it for 17 years.
That is true. I agree. And this guy handled it for one. Because going into last year, RJ was the man, right?
Yeah.
But Zion quickly, after one game, became the man.
Yeah.
And he handled it just fine. He is built to last.
And Skip, you know basketball more than any sport will draft on potential. The guy's 6'10", ain't play a minute in college. Oh boy, right situation, he could be this, and this. Okay, we take him first. We take him as a lottery pick. Marvin Williams, Skip, went number 2 overall, and he came off the bench in Carolina.
I agree. Nope, I got it. And he's been a nice player. Nice player.
But he ain't been Chris Paul or Darren Williams.
I agree.
To both your points, David Griffin called him the population of one.
Well, I know. Okay, final point, quick point. New Orleans still has $30 million of cap room, so maybe he's going to spend it on a couple of veterans, maybe shoot the moon and try to land one other star. I don't know.
What you gonna do? You gonna let Drew Randall walk?
I don't know. That's a good point.
Drew Randall was a monster.
Yeah, he is a monster. Maybe.
Okay.
Well,
Pelicans extended Jahlil Okafor yesterday, but yeah, question marks still surrounding Julius Randle's future. All right, out of those top 3 picks last night, who will become the biggest star from this year's draft class?
Well, that's a hard question.
It is a hard question.
It is.
Chris Broussard answers that question.
Really hard.
Next.